Is it just me, or does the title Back to the Future not make a whole lot of sense? Welcome to D's Rants and Reviews. I'm your host, D. On today's episode, I'll be going over my 5 meanest things that I've ever seen in a movie. These 5 things will either have made me laugh, cringe, or literally say, that's some cold-blooded shit to do to somebody. These are my top 5 mean things in a movie. My number 5 comes from a little-known 80s gem called The Last American Virgin. The lead character is a teenager by the name of Gary, who's a nice guy but a little wet behind the ears.
Hey, Gary.
Hi.
What? Did you see that gorgeous giant or mouse there?
Don't strain your eyeballs.
Hey, do you know who she is?
Which one? The one with the streak in her hair?
No, the other one, Turkey.
I think her name is Karen.
Karen what?
I don't know. She just moved here about a week ago.
Said girl falls in love with Gary's friend, played by the same guy who played Troy in Goonies. And any of us who've seen Goonies know what we feel about Troy.
We know who Troy is. He's such a cheap guy.
In the movie, Troy gets the girl pregnant, and upon not wanting to have the responsibility, disses the girl in front of everybody in a library, leaving her running away embarrassed.
Would you get the fuck out of here already? You're embarrassing the shit out of me in a split.
Gary, who still loves the girl, confronts his friend and thereby ends his friendship.
I can't think of anyone who would have done what you've done for me.
And wanting to be her knight in shining armor, he sees her through the abortion and nurses her back to health. Gary expresses his feeling towards the girl. She seems to share the same thing. So after nursing her back to health, Gary is now in a place where he believes the girl also returns his love and is ready to start his relationship with her. Gary shows up at a high school party bearing gifts for the love of his life, and upon walking in, he sees this. It gets even worse. That's the end of the movie. I have a strange notion that the person that wrote the script actually was speaking of personal experiences. I can only imagine him pitching the story to the producers. Guy meets girl, guy loves girl, girl loves someone else. That someone else gets girl pregnant, doesn't want to have anything to do with the girl. Guy who loves girl, nurses girl back to health and tells her he loves her. Guy goes to party, sees girl back in the arms of guy that rejected her. The end. That's the story. Mean scene number 4 comes courtesy of Superman 3. While Superman 3 is an inferior movie to Superman 1 and 2, it is far superior to Superman 4. In the movie, in an attempt to kill Superman, the criminals get their hands on a batch of kryptonite. That kryptonite has an unknown element in it that causes it to operate opposite of what kryptonite usually does. Instead of killing Superman, it actually makes him evil.
Come on.
And then we have scenes of Superman in the most un-Superman-like behavior we've ever seen.
Well, I hope you don't expect me to save you, because I don't do that anymore.
Don't worry. I'm long past saving.
can forget the scene where Superman goes to a local Metropolis bar and gets drunk? But even with these scenes of Superman acting like a total dick, we have this scene that stands above the rest.
And now, the supreme moment as the last runner, the one given the great honor of lighting the ceremonial flame, runs the last leg of a marathon that began 7 days ago as this torch has been passed from athlete to athlete for 970 miles across the country.
What makes this scene so bad is the fact that it's Superman. Like, what can the runner do? Can he get mad and take his shirt off and try to fight Superman? I think not. Superman could punch him in the chest so hard that his heart would end up in his bowels. And on the last note, even though Superman 3 is not the greatest of movies, you still have the benefit of Superman being portrayed by the incomparable Christopher Reeve, the greatest Superman there ever was. Number 3 on our list comes courtesy of Back to the Future Part 2. Future Biff from 2015 goes back to meet Biff from 1955 to give him an almanac from your future that's going to enable him to be rich. Well, I explained that better than I thought I would. And being that we know that the character of Biff Tannen is basically the Hill Valley Lothario, the scene speaks for itself.
Biff! Yeah! Where are you going, Biff?
I'm going to get my car, Grandma!
When are you coming back? My feet hurt. I want you to wrap my toast some more.
Shut up, you old bag.
Use our ball, Dad!
What ball?
That ball!
What ball are you talking about?
Give us that ball, Dad!
Ball? Is this your ball?
Yeah!
Is this your ball? You want it back? Go get it!
Scene actually made me laugh a little bit based on the fact that those kids probably will never see that ball again. The number 2 on our list had the possibility of actually being number 1. It comes courtesy of one of my all-time favorite movies, Once Upon a Time in the West, starring Charles Bronson, Jason Robards, and Henry Fonda. In the film, Henry Fonda plays one of the greatest screen villains I've ever seen. A villain so evil that you really literally believe that cold blood is running through his veins.
What are we gonna do with this one, Frank?
Now that you've called me by name.
He shot a kid. Once Upon a Time in the West happened to be the very first film I'd ever seen Henry Fonda in. I had no idea that prior to this movie, his film career had consisted of him playing basically heroic characters.
This is exactly the sort of thing I went into politics to stop. All the business of gossip instead of issues, personalities instead of policies. We've got enough on Cantwell's public life to defeat him without going into his private life, which is nobody's business.
Any more than yours is?
Any more than mine is.
I was voting not guilty. 1. Right. 11 guilty, 1 not guilty. Well, now we know where we are.
Boy, oh boy, there's always one.
So, what are we doing now?
Well, I guess we talk.
And because he was so convincing as a villain to me, when I watched his more heroic characters afterward, I had a tough time believing him, thinking in the back of my mind, that's still Frank that shot that kid in the face. Coming in at number 1 on the list is a scene from the 1984 classic Purple Rain starring Prince. In the movie, Prince plays the kid, lead singer and lead guitarist of his band The Revolution. Prince meets a girl named Apollonia who he quickly falls in love with. Standing in the way of his courtship of Apollonia is his rival, Morris, lead singer of The Time.
The kid's gonna help me.
No, he isn't.
The kid and Morris have a deep animosity towards one another, exacerbated by their courtship of the same woman. The kid is also dealing with some deep emotional scars brought on by his parents, mainly by his father, who's in a state of manic depression. Things get so bad that his father ends up attempting suicide. So we have some deep, dark issues that the kid is dealing with. And while you think that things couldn't get worse for him, Morris says this to him.
How's the family?
Did that nigga say what I think he said?
How's the family? How's the family? How's the family?
That's the equivalent of telling somebody with cancer that you hope they find a cure for the disease that they're suffering from after they die from it.
That was cold-blooded.
How's the family? How's the family? How's the family?
Kid, you're a better man than me, because I'd have beat the perm off that motherfucker.
Motherfucker!
So those are my top 5 mean things that I've seen in movies. And I realize that many of you have a difference of opinion, and I'd like to see what you say. So please comment on the video and make sure to click the subscribe. Until next time.